what you guys have been doing. It's such a great joy to be with you all today, and I think there is a smooth transition of our young folks who's going to the breakout room. I hope none of you guys go. We're gonna have a great time together. Especially want to thank my very good friend Jayesh, who invited me to this forum, and all the ICPF concerned authorities who heads up this wonderful initiative. A great, I was just enjoying what you guys are doing, and so happy to see each one of you. Well, we're just gonna play a very quick game. You guys ready? I know Christine did a very good game. Can you give a virtual, I mean, clap? She was in fact appreciating everyone. So can we just give a thumbs up or yeah, clap? That would be fine. That would be fine. Oh, cool, good job. All right, so I'm going to play a very quick game, and because I want to straight get into the word. So for this, I want you to. I want the first thing. I want all videos to be on for a moment. Yeah, for a moment. If you could just all turn on your videos. Yes, that would be great. And cool. Jayesh, good evening. Yes. Yeah. Quick. Can a couple of others also could you just turn on your videos? All right, so that we can just quickly get started. Yep. Meanwhile, I want you to get me a paper. Get a paper if you have a paper. It not need to be a perfect paper, A4 size paper. You can be any paper. It can be any paper, and let's see how you guys do it. All right, so this is the game, and all right, I will be personally sending you a message. All right, I thought of doing an extended kind of a game with different rounds, but this is I don't want to do that. This game is called as Pictionary. You know what's Pictionary? You know what is that? Have you heard about that? All right, I will message you personally a word, and what you have to do is you will have to draw that, and other participants have to guess it. All right, so let's see how interesting it can be. All right, it's pretty simple. You don't need to be artistic. You don't need to be, what's the greatest artist? I forgot. No, what's that artist name? Okay, I didn't get. All right, you don't need to be any Michelangelo. Is that what Jayesh was trying to say? Michelangelo? Yeah, okay. All right, so yeah, and you don't need to be a very good artist. You just need to just draw something where the people can actually guess. All right, so I will just go to the very first person. I hope you all have a paper. Yeah, and the first person, and I would like to go. Okay, Christine made everyone to play the game. Let's start with Christine itself. All right, Christine, the first one is coming to you. Okay.
Is there a time limit?
Yeah, within 1 minute. Within 1 minute. All right. Okay. As soon as possible. I think within 30 seconds. 30 seconds you need to draw it. 30 seconds people have to guess it. So that's how it's going to be. All right. Here's coming for you, Christine. Take a paper, draw it, and then show it to the screen. All right. Your time starts now. All right, bring it. So, all right, okay. You can guess 3 chances. I'll give you. Quick, you can unmute and start guessing. Please unmute. You can unmute and start guessing. You can ask questions basically. This is an object. This is, not an object. It's a word. Yeah. You can ask questions.
I think Aaron was saying something, but she was muted.
Yeah, Fabi also was trying to say something. Yes.
Arrow, down arrow.
Arrow. Okay, go. This is something what we do usually. Yeah.
Aaron was very. I could see her mouthing the word.
Aaron, yes, go ahead, Aaron. I can't hear you, Aaron. Or you can use the message box too. Yeah. That would be better. All right. Meanwhile, others, any guess? David Job, any guess? No? No? I thought you guys are smart. Yeah, you are smart. Hell. Oh my god, no. That's not hell. Whoa, whoa. No. No, that's not hell. Okay. Guys, it's something related to what we do usually, especially with the gadgets and the laptops and
Download.
correct. Yeah, Fabi, that's correct. Good job. All right. Okay. Fabi, could you take a try? Could you take a try? Is that okay?
Sure.
All right. Thank you, Fabi. Okay, the next one coming to you. Are you a very simple one?
Do we get prizes for this?
Yeah, Jay should be doing that. All right, the next one. Okay, your time starts now, Fabi.
Okay. I'm not very good at drawing, but okay.
That's okay. That's okay. Only the I mean, the people have to just guess it out. That's it. Okay. Last 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7. You can draw n number of things to tell that particular thing. All right. It's very simple. 6, 5. I think she's drawing a big, on a big canvas. 5, 4. Fabi, you need more time.
Yeah, I'm very bad at drawing.
Okay, Fabi, I think it was all right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. All right, Fabi. Yeah, just show what you've drawn.
No, this is too bad to be shown.
No, that's
But
okay.
I can
Fabi,
say the
that's
words. I can
absolutely
say
fine.
the word.
No, you don't need to say the word. You need to show it. You need to show it.
Oh my God.
See, Fabi, I can give you one guy. I'm also one person who is really, God has given me gift of singing. I can even choreograph, do the choreography, dance, and all those things. But I'm very bad when it comes to drawing and painting. So you have me. All right. So Fabi, go ahead.
Okay. There's some people. Let me see. I have no idea how to do this.
Family?
Okay. No, no, no. Okay. I'm just passing it to another person. Is that okay,
Yes.
Fabi?
Yes.
All right. Jessica, if you could just help me out. I think I wanted to give you one more word, but because of the we don't have much time. We'll just. All right. I think it's pretty simple. Just think you can just split the word. You can split the word and you can do. All right. Here we go. Your time starts now. Anything? All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Yeah. Time's up. Please do it.
I mean, this is so bad. I don't even know if you'll understand that.
Oh, wow. That's really. It is good.
Oh my
It's.
God.
Yeah. Yeah. Any guess? No? It's two. I think she's trying to show two different words, maybe. Yes. Yeah. That's. I mean, do you think, Fabi, that's what she's trying to show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, come on, think. Something related to sports, something related to something. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a ship anyway.
Yeah. Shipping. Yeah. Ship. Yeah. No? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Fabi, you want to tell what's the answers?
Captain.
Yeah, it was simple. You just all had to draw a cap and a 10. All right, it would have been captain. But anyways, it's okay. This was the first time that I was doing with you guys. Next time, it would be a more easier for you guys. All right, so Yeah, I mean, Jayesh and me, we were discussing about what needs to be discussed, what needs to be taught, and something that has come to my heart in what I've been sharing, especially I'm in Jaipur in Rajasthan. I do not know how many of you have been to Rajasthan or how many of you have heard about Rajasthan. It's one of the states in North India, and we go to different colleges, we go to different schools, and this is one of the topic that I really share, and I think this is the need of the hour, that every youngsters, every teenagers needs to be heard. So I'm just sharing my screen with you guys, and I hope today you would be blessed by the word that what we are going to hear today. All right, so sharing the screen with you. Okay. Today's topic, as you said, was image, and one of the things that comes, though we say that we are image of God, most of the biggest problem that what every youngster is having is called a self identity. And one of the biggest challenge that every youngsters is going through is called as identity crisis. They do not know who they are and what they are, what is their purpose, and because of that they are lost, they are stagnant in their life, they do not know where to go, what to do next. And that's what we are going to discuss in next couple of minutes. Now the key words would be Psalms 139 verses 1 to 18. I know you would be knowing this verse, and one of the words that one of our favorite words is that for I mean, you fearfully, for God created us fearfully and wonderfully. I mean, we know that verse, but we are going to go much deeper into it, and we will be discussing about this verse a bit later. But today, as I said, identity crisis, one of the, it's not the unemployment, it's not the financial issues, what it's not, I mean, some of other things that what a youngster, especially in India. And I just had we just had a youth review meeting where there were youth ministries across the globe, and especially from UK, US, and all of them were saying, echoing at one thing: identity crisis. Identity. We do not know who we are. Let it be spiritually, let it be in other ways. I mean, we try to relate ourselves some of the time to someone else. We try to be someone else. We try to reach up to someone else. And today, this is the message that I want to bring it out to you. Say then, you need to stop comparing. You need to stop. Thinking a lot about yourself. All right, so let's get started. Now, what do you mean by a low self-esteem? A low self-esteem is a person who feels unworthy, incapable, and incompetent. Low self-esteem. Now, Jayesh, you guys have any problems related to that? I would say better than me. Jayesh is a very good person whom you can contact, because he's a I don't know whether you know that he's a psychiatrist by profession. So you have anything related to counseling, he's the best person. He can really help you, and I can give you 100% assurance. He has literally, helped me when he was working as an associate staff worker in counseling a lot of youngsters. So today, if you have anything, reach out to him. He would really help you out. Now, if you take this low self-esteem, sometimes we think that it's just, it is just born with us, or it is, as a child, it just grew up with us. But I want to tell you something: the low self-esteem is not just a reactant or something. It is basically a product. It's basically a product, and we will be discussing about that in a while. But as it says, is a person who feels unworthy, incapable, and incompetent. Incapable. I would just like to specify incapable and incompetent. I don't know whether it's someone of you over here or there, like when sometimes Jayesh or some of the seniors call me, hey, today you are going to do, me? No. You might be good in singing, but you have that fear. No, I can't do that. Incompetent. You always try to compare yourself with others. You say, oh, look at him or her. The way how she sings, the way how she plays guitar, the way how he plays keys. Wow. I'm nowhere near to him. I'm nowhere near to her. You will be having that kind of a thought. This is where I really want to strike a point. if you have been going through this thing, hey, I want you to think far beyond that. Stop comparing, stop thinking, stop limiting yourself, because I believe that God has created you, in a way that more than you can even fathom. And you can fathom. Some of the things that I found quite interesting, and I would just like to run through those. On the left side, you could see a cookie comparing to the cone and the ice cream, saying that those guys are much cooler than me. Sometimes these are some of the things that actually strikes your mind and say, hey, look at them. These guys are amazing. These guys are, I mean, they are really good. They are really good. On the other on the other side, you could see, like, saying that one part of your brain, one part of your thinking is like, you are just awesome, you are doing great. But there's one part of your brain which says that I'm also the worst and kind of terrible. And what is something that supersedes the negative thing most of the time? I want to tell you something. Sometimes, most of the time, when we compare ourselves to others, that's the time where we fail. We fail a lot. Even in my life too, I used to compare it with a lot of, let it be musicians, let it be singers, let it be. I always used to think like, wow, why is this happening in my life? Look at them, look at him, and all. And all I could say was, I was just limiting myself. I was just comparing myself to others. And then there was a day that I came to know that, hey, God has given me these things, and I never discovered those things. All right. Now, this is a very interesting thing. If you would come to Jaipur, I know if you go to Kerala also, you would see elephants. I don't know elephants are there in UK, but elephants in India, especially Kerala, in Jaipur and all. Sometimes, this November to February, it is all this wedding seasons. And in North India, especially Rajasthan is a wedding. I want to invite all those people who is planning for your wedding. Come to Rajasthan, come to Jaipur. It's a wedding destination place. All right. So, yeah, it's a grand, celebration, basically, weddings. The groom goes on the horse, a royal procession. And if he is quite rich, there are camels, and there are horses, and there are elephants that just follows him. And sometimes, when I come back from a meeting, and there is, the only time when Jaipur gets stuck is during these weddings. There's a huge traffic in that road, and sometimes I just keep looking at these elephants, so huge in size. But sometimes it looks quite funny, because it is painted in all pink and green, and all those colors, all those flamboyant colors, and all those things. And just going with the flow. And one day I was just thinking, hey, I was just thinking, elephant, was he really created for something to go to these marriages and all? I believe that he has more power, he has more strength than that. Then I started studying about elephant, and the two things that I came across about the elephant is, one, it's his eyes. Its eyes are like a magnifying glass. Even if it sees a small object, a small animal, it magnifies in such a way that it feels that that the other creature is bigger than himself or herself. And the second thing is, it's its ears. Its ears covers its body size. It doesn't know how big or how huge it is. I would like to tell you, humility is good, humbleness is good, but not knowing who you are, not knowing your call, not knowing what you're called for, I believe that you wouldn't serve the purpose. A lion might be just half the size of elephant. It might not be as huge like an elephant. It might not be as huge like the giraffe or the other, but a lion, when it roars, you know what happens. If size mattered, the elephant would have been the king of the jungle. It's all about knowing who you are, what you are. That's what makes a difference. Now, I would just like to rush through some of the things, some of the symptoms. One of the things is, some of the people think that I can't do it. I'm not worthy. I must be perfect. Some people have the kind of thing that I must be perfect in everything that I do. They are more of like, they want to do the best. I mean, it is good, but I want to tell you, sometimes you make mistakes. There's something called as I must not make a mistake. Some people have that. Oh, they're so scared that to fail. They're so scared to make a mistake. Because why? Because they have some past experiences. Some people think that I'm not good enough. And the last one, nobody loves me. I'll just explain about the last 3 points and get going. Now, some people think, as you said, I must be perfect. I must not make a mistake. This happens because when there's a lack of appreciation or encouragement at your home, when sometimes, you wanted to surprise your parents and you wanted to make them a bed tea or a bed coffee, and you give to your parents, and after taking one sip, it's they're like, whoa, man, what did you make? And that kind of a look and that kind of a thing, it can actually put you down. When you don't get appreciation at your home, or when you don't get appreciation from your friends, sometimes, you feel that I wanted, I must not make a mistake. I was someone, I should be knowing that I'm someone who has butterfingers. You know what is butterfingers? That anything that's at your hand, it just falls. So I sometimes, at one point of time, I used to be very carefully holding those things. I used to have habit like, dropping glasses, right? When I was a kid, not now. When I was a kid, I used to, some glass which is in my hand, it just, I would just be keeping at the table, or I would just be holding in my hand, and all of a sudden, bush, it just falls down. And my parents, sorry for using Malayalam, but my parents, oh, so the next time when I get, when I take something, I am extra cautious. I'm like, very, very cautious. Earlier, my phone, now my phones are like, you don't have much scratches and all, nothing. But earlier there was, my screens used to be like Angry Birds or like Fruit Ninjas. Like it used to be all cuts and crosses. Being very extra cautious. There's one other thing, as I said, I'm not good enough. Some people think that you're not good enough. I meet a lot of youngsters, and this is something that they come across. I'm not that good. I'm not that pretty like him. Her. I'm not that. You have that kind of a thought. Now, I had like this kind of a thought for a very long time, saying that, because especially about, I grew up in Middle East, and there were a couple of people who used to make fun of my skin, my color. And they used to call me all sorts of, I don't want to mention those names, but they used to call me all sorts of, the names that you can imagine. And when I used to hear all those things, I used to feel so terrible. I used to feel like, oh, why is this happening? And you won't believe. And that's the time where this Fair and Lovely, this thing was introduced. So whenever this cricket matches used to happen, there used to be this one girl who used to come in between the ads and saying, in 7 days, full transformation. I kept seeing that, for every intervals, and I'm like, this should change my life forever. And the next time we went to the mall for the shopping, and my dad and my mom did all their shopping, and I said, Dad, I think I forgot one thing. I want to buy something. And my dad was like, what do you want to buy? No, I said, I want to buy something. I said, what do you want to buy? I said, give me the money, I'll go buy. He said, I was way too young. He said, no, I'm not going to give you the money. You're going to tell me what do you want to buy? I said, no. So in fact, there was a 10 minutes, discussion. And then Dad said, Sujith, you want it? You need to tell me what you want to buy. I was like, okay. I just said, Fair and Lovely. And I can still remember the look on my father's face. Like, really? I was like, yeah. And then my dad, I was like, okay, let's go. We went to the cosmetics, that rack over there, and for the very first time I see Fair and Lovely over there, and I was like, man, this is going to change my life forever. And I saw this thing. One is the small, the medium, and the large. And I was like, smaller the product, smaller the results. Larger the product, larger the results. So I brought 2 of them, kept it in my cart. And we went to billing, and the very first day I started applying, and I was like, boom, that's it. But let me tell you, 7 days over, 7 weeks over, 7 years over, nothing has changed. Here and there, yeah, somewhere down the line, fairness has come. But If someone comes and make fun of me now because of my skin, of my color, and of my size, it hardly doesn't matter to me. There was a period of time where when people used to tell, "Well, you are gonna knock," now he's like, "I'm gonna knock." So I mean, I will tell you how that perspective changed. There was a time even I tried committing suicide. I tried I don't want to live with these people. I think most of you know who know my testimony knows who I am. And I, for a very long time, because I wanted to quit everything. But now it's a total different thing. There sometimes you think that nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. There was one guy who was crying. Nobody loves me. I said, what happened? No, nobody loves me. I said, what happened? After persuading him for a very long time, he started sharing. He had a crush on a girl in his class, and and they somehow exchanged number. And this guy, this guy, after a very long time, he said to her that I want to tell you something. She asked what he wanted to tell. He said, wait for the right time. After some 1 month, he called him to a cafe, and she went. She was totally clueless. Why is this guy calling? This guy, when the moment he saw her, he fell on knees, became so poetic, started talking all those things, saying that you are my love of my life. She started, you know, stuck over there, and she said, when he proposed, she said, hey, I don't think so. I don't love you. That kind of thing. In fact, she rejected it. He was so heartbroken, and he later came to know that she was going on with some other guy. His best friend. That literally put him down, and he was saying, nobody loves me, nobody cares for me, no one, cares for my emotion. I said, hey, just one girl said something bad about you. That doesn't mean that the whole world doesn't care for you. I do not know what kind of thoughts you might be today, what kind of things that might be pulling you down today. But I want to tell you something. In all those things, do not fall for this vicious cycle. This is basically called as the vicious cycle. It all starts with that negative thoughts. When you have the negative thoughts, for example, let it be any subjects that you think it's your negative thought, that this is hard for me. This is not possible for me. What it leads you to is high anxiety and poor performance. Before the exam, I don't know whether there are exams over there and all those things, but when I was studying in 12th and all, for me, there used to be some subjects which are really, really tough. And I used to keep that till the last moment to burn the midnight oil. And it used to be a high anxiety. We used to study till 4 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, get up at 7 a.m. in the morning, again study, high anxiety. And eventually what happens? Poor performance. You cannot do well. It eventually leads you to failure. And it becomes a self-blame. You blame yourself for everything. Each and everything, you blame yourself. I've seen a lot of people. This thing, if it comes, right? Last week, I was just counseling a student. Something just happened in their home, and she just went inside and she started cutting herself. And she's saying, it's because of me. It's nowhere related to her. It's nowhere related to her. But she started cutting herself. Now, I've seen a lot of youngsters at present right now who cuts themselves, who hurts themselves. And I want to tell you, it is the product of this. You do not know who you are. Some of the past things are just engulfing you. And today I want to tell you that God has set you free. Let not the past define who you are. You have a new beginning. Let nothing of this past. It might be abuses. I do not know to whom I'm talking to. It might be some strange things that have happened to you, that have pulled you, that have crippled you. But today I want to tell you, I want to prophesy, let nothing of the past, let nothing of such incidents pull you down, break you down. But I would say you have a great things ahead. Let nothing of those thoughts actually crumble you down, but you need to walk forward. How do you overcome low self-esteem? The first one is identify and challenge your negative belief. What is the negative belief that you really think? For example, okay, this is what I think about myself, negative. And how do you challenge it? It's basically that you need to work towards it. I was a person who couldn't, if you know my testimony, you know that I was a person who couldn't speak in front of people. But you know how I overcame it? I'll tell you. As I grew up, I couldn't even speak in front of my class. But, how I overcame it is, it's a simple thing. I used to lock my door, and I used to get onto the bed. I used to keep the mirror on the opposite side, and I used to just pray, and I used to just get on the bed, and I used to just start preaching or sharing, looking from right to left. And that's how I overcame it. If you know my testimony, you know what I'm trying to speak, because I was one person who couldn't even speak one sentence together. But you see what it can make a difference. The second thing, identify the positive about yourself. Sometimes we give too much importance for the negative things, and we did not care about the positive things that are happening in your life. Last one, third one, build positive relationship, avoid negative ones. This is very important. Let it be your friends, let it be relationships. There should be people who give you, who encourages you. If there are someone who are really bullying you, who are really talking bad, I think you need to really be careful on it. Especially there was 2 weeks ago, there was this proposal that was happening, and this guy is pretty healthy person, and there was this proposal that was happening, and he came all the way to India, saw the girl, went back, and the girl demands one thing: you need to trim your weight. We like your everything, but you need to trim your body. You need to trim, you need to become slim. He is like he said, I can try. But they were like, no, you need to trim it down a lot. And he was like, Achacha, what should I do? I said, can you do it? I asked, can you do at the first place? He said, I don't think so. I can try. I can try that. I said, if you're not feeling comfortable, let this proposal, because you need someone. What if for your wedding you will trim down, you will come out beautiful, handsome, and all those things? What happens after marriage? And if after marriage you are all blown out and all those things, if he or she is looking for your physique and all those things, do you think he or she would be the no? So learn, and that's where the last point comes: learn to say no. One of the important thing for all of the youngsters, especially Christian youngsters, you did not know where to say no. You learn to compromise. Today I want to encourage each one of you, learn to say no. Learn to say no to things that you think that are compromising, that are, let it be spiritually, in all this thing. If it's compromising, you need to say no. And that's where it eventually builds your confidence, your self-esteem. It tells that who you are, what you are. It eventually builds the personality or the character who you are. I want to just go very quickly to these are my last slides. I do not know how many of you, okay, I see most of girls over here, but how many of you, I will ask you this question: how many of you know cricket? Just give a thumbs up. You know what cricket is? I think I'm talking sense. All right. How many of you are on the girls? I know there's a lot of fans following girls who follows cricket. How many of you like cricket? Can I see a thumbs up? Oh, thank you, Christine. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Aaron. All right. Okay. This is, India and England. If you are an English fans, I want to tell you, I think India has won the match. I was just watching the match a couple of minutes ago. I'm a diehard cricket fan. This is one of the series, a very famous series that happened, recently. The India-Australia tour. Especially when it goes to the test match. The first test, after the first test, Virat Kohli had to go back home, and there was a series of injuries. In fact, all their top quality players, everyone was injured. Everyone is injured. There was hardly any people towards the end. The media came like this. Some of the cricket legends, like especially Michael, he said, India are going to be hammered in the series 4-0. All these legends, they said that they're going to crumble down. They're going to, wash out. All those things happened. But you know what really happened? You know, India breached, I mean, especially Brisbane, where it was tough to win. India won the series over there. I mean, a historic win. I mean, there was this media that was against them. There were people against them. Everything was against them. Let me tell you, if they believed, if they just soaked in that thing, do you think they would have ever won the series? No, they wouldn't have won the series. It is because they didn't pay attention. Hey, I mean, do not care about what the world tells about you. That's something that I want to tell you today. You know, the world might be saying a lot of things, a lot of crap about you, a lot of, they would say that you are good for nothing. That's okay. That's their definition. But that's not what God defines about you. And that shouldn't stop you from what God wants to do through you. You might be knowing this person in the screen. Nick Vujicic, who was born with no arms and legs, who tried committing suicide when he was at the age of 8. Now he is the person who has traveled most number of countries and a person who has influenced many. And he says like this: it is a lie to think you are not good enough. It's a lie to think you are not worth anything. I think it's self-explanatory. I don't need to explain all those things. Here's the woman. I do not know whether you have seen her, but if you type in the Google and see Lizzie Velasquez, not Lizzie Velasquez, you need to type in Google the world's ugliest person. Her name will come, Lizzie Velasquez, and she says true beauty is discovering your own uniqueness and owning it. What a powerful statement. Sometimes when we get a small pimple itself, when we say, oh, you'll be cribbing, you'll be crying, you'll be doing all those things. But here comes a girl who has been tagged in the world's ugly, saying that, hey, I have my own thing. She's a motivational speaker. This guy is someone like Sparsha, and when he was born with something called as brittle bones disorder. He has so far some 200 close like fractures. When he was born, he had 8 fractures. 15 years old, but he's one of a person who has made a lot of impact, especially releasing music albums, TED Talks. Just 15 years old. He has done a lot of things. And he says that I tell the one possible in time, possible in mind. These people are all telling all those things. But today, I want you to think from what Psalms 139 it says. It says that though you might be a weak, though you might think that you're not talented, you're not beautiful, the word of God says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You have a great plan. I want to tell you that God is crazy. I want to put that word. God is crazy about you. He is really mad about you. These are some of the promises. These are some of the things that are mentioned in that verse. And I don't want to go through all these verses. I want to tell you that He is right there. He is just there next to you, waiting to empower you to do something great for the kingdom of God. He has a great plan for you. And stop believing on the lies that you hear. Stop believing on the lie what the world is actually yelling at you. There is a beautiful song of I don't know whether you know this song by Casting Crowns, The Voice of Truth. If you haven't heard that song, go today and hear it. The Voice of Truth. It says like this. The voice of truth tells me a different story. There might be a lot of voices that you hear around, but the voice of truth, you and I need to hear the voice of truth. It's not what your friends define what the truth about you. It's not even your parents that tell the truth about you. It is God who defines the truth about you. It is His voice that you need to hear. And that's what is going to put you back on track and to do great things for His kingdom. I would just like to read this last thing and leave. We need to learn how to see ourselves through God's eyes, not through our eyes of society and other people. Then we will realize that we are beautiful, loud, and valuable and have a special purpose. No matter what anyone says, knowing this will help us to stop comparing ourselves with others and begin appreciating ourselves and others more, no matter what our or their looks, talents, behavior, or social statuses. Today, this is what I want to end up with. You are unique. Sometimes you might be thinking that You are not worth it. You are not valuable. People might be telling that you are a failure. Your parents would be, I don't know what's going through your mind. But today I want to tell you, you know, you're more valuable. You're more valuable. Sometimes, I mean, in relationships, I do not know why I'm just led by the Spirit, and I'm saying sometimes in a relationship, sometimes a person, a partner, someone whom you just met might have said that you are not worth it. You are just, you are just crap. Someone just broke up with you, saying then, hey, you are not worth it. Whose voice do you listen to? Do you listen to the voice of this world? Or do you listen to the voice of the truth that says that you are more valuable, you are more precious? Today, let's just surrender ourselves. Let's just look to the Lord and say, God, I want your will to be done. In Colossians, it says, chapter 1, it says, through him, all things were created. All things. And when it says all things were created, it includes each one of us. And he never makes mistakes. He never makes mistakes. Though I would have had a lot of abnormalities when I was born, but I can proudly tell you, as I sit over here, God did create me like that so that I can be a testimony today. I can be that message today. No matter whatever is happening in your life today, no matter whatever struggles in you going on, I want to tell you that you are built, you are created the exact image of God. Stop believing in the lies. Stop believing what other people tell about you, but stop believing in what God tells you and the plan what He has for you. May God bless you all. Thank you so much for this wonderful time. Over to Christine.
Thank you so much, Brother Sujith. I'm just going to hand it over to Febijiji for a minute, just to conclude.
Okay. Thank you, Christine. Thank you so much, Evangelist Sujith. Those were really wonderful words, and I was truly blessed, and I'm pretty sure that everyone else was blessed as much as I am. Just a quick summary on what we just heard, and self-identity. I think identity crisis is something that is really striking the young people in today's world. People are facing this problem, identity crisis. And we talked from Psalm 139 verses 1 to 18, and I encourage you all to go back and read the psalm over, because it's a beautiful psalm. And I would like to read out this verse for you all, and I'm pretty sure you all know this verse. Psalm 139 verse 14, I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works. And then we said, we talked about self-esteem, how low self-esteem is really harmful.